Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Government once again defending the rollout of the National Identification System, NIDS. Ministry of Education investigating another private boarding institution that caters predominantly to children from overseas. And later in sports, young reggae boys named for tournament in Turkey. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shade Masters and here are the details. The Ministry of Education says it is investigating another private boarding institution that caters predominantly to children from the United States. The revelation came during this morning's post-cabinet press briefing. Education Minister Favour Williams declined to give the name of the school, only that the ministry is doing some checks there. Now it follows allegations of physical abuse at the Atlantis Leadership Academy in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth. Now, the schools promote themselves as Christian facilities that specialize in behavioral therapeutic and educational services to children and young adolescents. But unlike the Atlantis Leadership Academy, the Education Minister says this school is registered.
We're also aware of another one in another part of Jamaica that we are investigating. I wish not to say exactly where it is currently. Of course, as you know, any educational institution offering services to our children must be registered with the Ministry of Education and Youth. We have a whole department set up for that. This particular institution in Treasure Beach was not registered with the Ministry of Education and Youth. They did make inquiries at some point in time, some years ago. But we've searched our records and they were not registered. So they're operating in a space that is outside of the regulatory framework.
The government is again defending the rollout of the National Identification System, NIDS. It comes following the circulation of a WhatsApp message, which Minister with responsibility for digital transformation, Senator Dana Morris-Dixon, says is disconcerting. The message says that if citizens do not have the NIDS identification card, they will be restricted from government services. But speaking at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing, Senator Morris-Dixon again rubbished the claims. She stated that based on the legislation, NIDS is not mandatory.
The law is very clear that no one has to get this. It is on a voluntary basis. So the government will never say that you have to do it, or if you don't do it, there is a fine or there is any kind of threat of arrest. That is absolutely false. And so anyone who sees WhatsApp messages like this going around really need to delete them, and also to note to the person who has sent it that this is false information.
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is calling for commonality of interest among councillors at the St. James Municipal Corporation. Addressing the corporation recently, Mr. Chang said with the major developments currently underway in Montego Bay, working together to ensure the growth and development of the parish is critical.
I think we can comment on that. There's much to be done. The parish is at this point at a good stage in development. And we'd like to know there's commonality of purpose among all of us, not only among the municipal council as we work not only through your ministry, but the support of the members of parliament.
Now, Mr. Chang pointed to the current traffic congestion in Montego Bay, noting that it could have been addressed years ago, but stalled due to differences in interest.
This was discussed some time ago and had the support of the then government under PJ Patterson, but there was at the local level differences that since I was the MP only for a part of Montego Bay, we should have a different routing for the development of not the road, but of the funding. And some delay led to further delay and further delay. And that is wrong. That was cause for that, and today we are pushing hard to correct the problem.
In the meantime, Dr. Chang charged the council to work together to ensure that the parish grows in the right direction.
The planning authority of the parish is still the municipal council, and the proper planning and management and monitoring of development is crucial to ensure that we don't end up growing out of proportion again, or should I say with any dysfunctional growth as we get various activities emerging that should not be emerging in the way they are.
The St. James Municipal Corporation says it will continue to maintain a strong oversight of how business operators dispose of their waste. It comes as the Western Parks and Market Regional Manager Edward Muir told our news team recently that Montego Bay is littered with a number of illegal mini-dumps. A team from the Municipal Corporation was in the Montego Bay Town Centre on Monday, executing another of the initiatives from the four-pronged plan to ensure that businesses operating within the parish capital have proper waste management protocols. The corporation on Sunday embarked on its Step Up program, striving towards environmental protection, geared towards the cleanliness of the city. Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, says on Monday the Municipal Corporation started checking businesses to review their waste management systems.
We intend to ensure that upon visiting these businesses, providing that there are breaches or they cannot provide us any, with any evidence of how they dispose of their garbage, then we'll be taking the requisite action. I continue to urge members to spend $1,000 to carry their bulky waste and other waste to the landfill if you do not have an arrangement with the Solid Waste Management Authority.
He says business operators were warned that action will be taken against those who do not have the proper systems in place.
We are not afraid to send the team around to assess and to enforce and to take the necessary steps to ensure that we get order within the space and we get a clean space.
He says an assessment has revealed that 80% of garbage found at illegal disposal sites in the town centre belongs to commercial entities. State Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Alanda Terong, has distanced himself from controversial images posted on his social media page, stating that they are not in keeping with his style of postings and are regrettable. The images, which surfaced on his social media pages Tuesday, showed a picture of inside the Jamaican High Commission in London, but had emojis used to block the photos of former PNP Prime Ministers P.J. Patterson and Portia Simpson-Miller, which were hanging on the walls. Now, the images of former JLP Prime Ministers Edward Seaga and Bruce Golding, as well as current Prime Minister Andrew Holness, were left visible. Posting on X, formerly Twitter, this morning, Mr. Terong says the stories were posted by one of his team members. He says the individual was instructed to remove all the stories posted to Instagram immediately. Mr. Terong says the team member no longer has access to his social media accounts. Mr. Terong is in London drumming up support for the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference to be held at the Montego Bay Conference Centre in St. James from June 16 to 19. Lecturer in the Department of Economics at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Dr. Samuel Brawe, is suggesting that the inflation rate will rise due to an increase in the cost of agricultural produce caused by the drought. Dr. Brawe made the observation as he urged a tempering of optimism about the annual inflation rate of 5.6% for March 2023 to March 2024. Now, the rate fell within the Bank of Jamaica's 4 to 6% target range. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica says the main contributor to the inflation outturn was the lower rate of increase for the heaviest weighted division, food and non-alcoholic beverages. But speaking today on the morning agenda on Power 106, Mr. Brawe said the next few months will indicate how well the country weathered the dry period.
Think of agricultural output. Well, it's not going to be a case whereby, okay, we have a drought now, let's say, coming out of, let's say, January, February, what have you. The prices won't immediately be reflected in the markets. Yes? But it will take a few months, 3-4 months before we see the impact of drought-like conditions, or not drought-like, but drought conditions. So it is a good thing that the inflation number is within target. But what is more important in my mind is looking forward to the next few months.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Plans are being explored to expand the intervention for children with disabilities in Western Jamaica. The operators of the Negril Pediatric Orthopedic clinic says there's been an increase in the number of parents seeking help for their children.
All Karen Williams wanted was for her grandson, who was born with cerebral palsy, to experience life like a normal 3-year-old. So imagine her joy when she was gifted orthopedic legs.
It helped a lot. I must tell you, it really helped a lot, especially for the left foot that was a bit twisted, or that is a bit twisted. I have seen great changes in it when he had started wearing it.
Her grandson is one of hundreds of children served by the Negril Pediatric Orthotic Clinic.
This is the only one on the island, and so we are overwhelmed with patients, which I didn't know there were so many disabled or disadvantaged kids. I don't like the word disabled, physically challenged kids on the island.
Parents are unable to bear the cost of orthopedic legs, which on average are sold at over $2,000. They're seen by a certified orthotist from the United States.
What we do is we take bracing, custom-made bracing from our patients in the United States. When they outgrow it, we bring them down here and donate them to children here on the island. And so when they come into this clinic, they sometimes have to be carried in because they're having a hard time controlling their feet or their legs. And then we're able to use these donations here to select the most appropriate size and style of bracing for their needs. And then we get it all adjusted. We provide them with shoes, socks, and the bracing while they're here. And very often they're able to walk out when they leave the appointment.
Most of the financing is done through hotel chain Ria Resorts. And given the magnitude of the need for disabled children, plans are being explored to expand the scope of the facility.
We are looking how this clinic can have more services and can be more helpful for the community.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. One regional credit rating agency has upgraded its rating position for the Port Authority of Jamaica, PAJ. Caribbean Information and Credit Rating Services Limited, CARCRIS, says it has upgraded on its regional rating scale the assigned issuer corporate credit ratings to Carrier A- for the foreign currency rating. It's also upgraded the local currency rating to Carry A. On the Jamaica national scale, the Port Authority of Jamaica is now up to JMAA+. CARCRIS says the improved rating was bolstered by the likelihood of support, if needed, from the government of Jamaica to the Port Authority of Jamaica. The regional scale foreign and local currency ratings indicate that the level of creditworthiness is good. Further afield, United Airlines has blamed Boeing for a $200 million hit to its earnings in the first 3 months of this year. The carrier was forced to ground its Boeing 737 MAX 9 fleet for 3 weeks after a mid-air cabin blowout on an Alaska Airlines flight in January. United said that pushed it to a pre-tax loss of $164 million for the first quarter. The airline said it would have reported a quarterly profit otherwise. However, the loss was smaller than Wall Street expected, and United's shares rose by more than 5% after the announcement. United has 79 Boeing 73 MAX 9s in its fleet, more than any of its competitors, and the second only to Alaska Airlines. And that's it for the Business Minute. And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report.
In this evening's health report, we look at cataracts and surgeries.
The trauma to prevent the trauma may cause cataract too, eye disease like a myopia, but if the patient have myopia, we can't prevent because this is a condition to the patient.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Have a comprehensive eye exam. Know your family's eye health history. Wear protective eyewear and give your eyes a rest.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Dominican police are reporting the arrest of 5 people following the seizure of a large quantity of drugs in separate incidents. Acting Police Chief Davidson Valerie says in the first incident, 696.82 kilograms of cocaine, valued at more than 18 million EC dollars, were seized from a vessel. 4 men were arrested in that seizure. In the second seizure, another 696.36 kilograms of cocaine and 37 pounds of cannabis valued at more than 18 million EC dollars were found and seized on a farm. One person was taken into custody. On the international scene, unseasonal rainfall has lashed Pakistan and Afghanistan over the past few days, killing more than 100 people across the neighboring countries. In Afghanistan, heavy rain and floods in 23 provinces killed 66 people and caused injury to 36 others. 600 animals died and more than 1,200 houses have been destroyed in the deluge. And a Russian missile attack has killed 11 people in northern Ukraine. Officials say there were more than 50 victims of the attack, which hit an 8-story building in a densely populated area. 3 missiles had struck close to the center of the city. The attack came hours after reports of a Ukrainian strike on a Russian military airfield in occupied Crimea. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, Jordan Ford will have your midday sports report.